So this is a beginner's introduction to the CAGED system. Now you might be wondering, why should I learn the CAGED system? Well, to start off simply, it provides you with lots of different positions to play chords in. An example of this would be the open C major chord. Knowing the CAGED system, you can then play this chord here, 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 and here. So the CAGED system can also be used for scales. I'm not going to go into this for this video, I just want to keep it fairly simple with the different chord positions. CAGED, C-A-G-E-D. For C major, we already have our C shape. So the next letter along is A, and what this means is we can play a C major using an A shape. Now you might be wondering, what is the A shape? Well, what we're going to do is play our open A major chord. Now our root note for this chord is the open A string. So with this in mind, we need to find the C on the A string. Now I did a video on learning notes on the fretboard. I'm going to link it above now and you can check that out. This will really help you for the CAGED system. If you don't know the notes on the fretboard, then we're going to go through it just very quickly. Okay, so we have the open A, we have A sharp, we have B, and then here we have a C. Now remember, we've got this little shape here, our A shape, where our third, our fourth, and our little finger are essentially all in a line on one fret. We need to move this up to the 5th fret, strum all the strings, and we have a C major using an A shape. Okay, so the reason why these 3 fingers are on the 5th fret, remember if we put our A shape here, then our A, if we didn't have any open strings, would be here. Okay, so it's essentially 2 frets along. So here, 2 frets along. So the next letter along in our system is G. This essentially means we're going to be playing a C major using a G shape. So the G shape, we use the open G major shape. But what we're going to do is we're going to remove our 3rd finger. Okay, this still makes it a G major, it's just going to make the shape when we get to our C much easier. Okay, so our root note for this chord is the 3rd fret low E. This means we need to find the C on the low E string. G, G sharp, A, A sharp, B, C. Okay, 8th fret low E. This time what we're going to do is we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 8th fret on the low E. Then we're going to put our 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the A. And we're going to put our little finger on the 8th fret of the high E string. Okay, so we're following a similar shape to here. But in this chord we have some open strings. We have the open D, G and B string. So when we move our shape up to here, as you can hopefully hear, this isn't a C major chord. So what we need to do is put our 1st finger on a bar on the D, G and B string on the 5th fret. As you can see, this is a bit of a stretch, okay? So I very rarely play this chord, but it's still good to learn and understand the principles behind how we make it into a C major chord. An alternative way of playing it, which is the way I play it, is I put my little finger on the 8th fret of the low E, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the A, then I bar using my 1st finger on the D, G and B string. You just need to be careful not to hit the high E string. That's our G. Next letter in the system is E. So the E shape, E major. Now again, our root note is the low E. Okay, and if we use what we did for the A shape, okay, if there was no open strings, our E would be here. Okay, so we've got our 2 fingers here, our finger here, it would be the next fret along from our middle finger. Okay, so we'd cover 3 frets. So we already know our C is the 8th fret on the low E. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this shape up. We're going to put our first finger on the 8th fret low E. Then that means our other fingers will be in the E shape. So our middle finger will now be on the 9th fret of the G. Third finger will be on the 10th fret of the A. And our little finger will be on the 10th fret of the D. Okay, and if we play just those 4 strings, we have a C major. Now, if you're familiar with bar chords or want to learn bar chords, if you flatten your first finger all the way down on all the frets on the 8th fret, it then turns it into a C major bar chord. So a great benefit of this CAGED system is using these positions for different chords. Okay, so on the A string, we had our C major. If we moved up 2 frets, we now have a D major, and then this would be a D sharp major, and then the E major, etc, etc. Okay, and it's the same for all the positions. Another popular one is the E shape. Okay, so you might have seen this. So here we have A. If we move it up 2 frets, we then have B. If we move it to the 3rd fret, we have G major. Okay, so this shape is movable. Wherever you want to put these shapes, the root note will be the chord. Our last letter in the sequence is D. This means we're going to play a C major using a D shape. So our D shape is our open D major chord. Okay, so our root note is the open D string. Again, this means we need to find a C on the D string. Now, if you watch my video on learning notes on the fretboard, we know an easy way to work this out is the 8th fret on the low E is a C, which means the 10th fret on the D string is also a C. Remember, we got this open D here. If we were to fret that, okay, so we've got the D, we'd have nothing on this 1st fret, and then it would be the next fret along on the D is where we'd put our first finger. So if we transfer that up to the 10th fret, we'll put our first finger on the 10th fret of the D, then there'd be nothing on the 11th fret, and then on the 12th and 13th fret is where we'll make our D shape. First finger will be on the 10th fret of the D, second finger will be on the 12th fret of the G, third finger on the 12th fret of the high E, and our little finger on the 13th fret of the B string. So that covers us nearly across the whole neck, and it also provides us with lots of different tones for the C major. Okay, now this is the same for pretty much any chord. Okay, so if we take an A major, we have the A major using the A shape. Okay, so the G shape would be here. And then the E shape would be here. And then the D shape would be here. The only difference is for our C shape. Okay, so our C shape is this. Our root note is on the 3rd fret of the A. Okay, so that's C. So we need to find the A on the A string. Okay, so we know that this can be the 12th fret A. Okay, so if we literally slide that shape up, so our 3rd finger is on the 12th fret A, we'd be close, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, and I'll explain why. It's because we have these pesky G and high E string. So to fix this, it's similar to what we did with the G shape. Okay, we need to put a bar in place. So we're just going to rearrange our fingers slightly. We're going to put our little finger on the 12th fret of the A. We're going to put our 3rd finger on the 11th fret of the D. We're going to put our middle finger on the 10th fret of the B. And then we're going to bar on the G, B and high E string on the 9th fret. Strum those strings and we have a lovely A major chord. If you have any questions regarding this video, feel free to leave a comment below. If you like the video, click like, click subscribe, click the bell and you'll be notified each time I upload a lesson. Thanks for watching.